This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins Necro-Conda figure, the reanimated Snakemen soldier. So this one is supposed to have been a Walmart exclusive. However, it had gone up for sale on Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store. Funny story on that one. I had ordered 4 of them from Entertainment Earth, and then they got removed, and then they got canceled. So I ordered 3 of them from Big Bad Toy Store, and I got those ones in. I did not order any from Walmart because if I can avoid ordering from Walmart, I do. At the top there, we do see Lady Slither generating the Necrocondas. On the side, we see one of them floating in the air. On the other side, we just see a snake. It looks kind of like it might be an anaconda, which would make sense since, you know. And on the back, we see 3 of them fighting against He-Man. The nice thing about this figure is you have a pretty fair amount of display options with it, which we'll go over when we take them out of the package, which will be right now. Here we see 2 of the options here where you can swap out the legs and the tail. So we have this card, obviously, instead of a comic. And on a side note real quick, he comes with a different color background than most of these things do, but it's still boring. But anyway, on the card, it's a pretty nice image of the Necroconda. And on the back, we get a brief description. The Necroconda, reanimated Snake Man soldier. The Snakemen leave nothing to waste. Every Snakeman soldier sheds its skin prior to serving in King Hiss's army. The slithering sorcerers then reanimate these skins to create undead Necroconda, the wriggling rays that haunt heroes with their life-draining fangs. Spooky. Now, this figure is a glow-in-the-dark figure, or glow-in-the-dark parts. Although, I want to point something out real quick. While this logo does appear like it should glow in the dark, it does not. And so we get to our Necroconda figure, and this is basically reuse central here, right? So we got like Skeletor's shin guards, or boots, and feet. We got King Hiss's legs and arms. Although I'm going to admit right now, I'm not sure I can quite place this forearm part. We have the Snake Armor Skeletor's armor, King Hiss's head. This appears to be new. The skirt piece. We have Snake Armor He-Man's claw weapon. And the cape is new. So I think the skirt piece and the cape are the only new items here. Because even the tail is a reuse from Lady Slither. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at my favorite part here. So what I want to note is that as far as the glow in the dark goes, his armor, skin, shins, that part of the weapon, and his face, the green, which is painted, does glow in the dark. The weapons do not. So let's just give him a little additional blast here of the black light to really get him shining. But as you can see, like I said, the weapons do not glow with him. So that honestly is both surprising and extremely disappointing to me that they don't do that. I don't know why they didn't bother to just mold all the weapons in the glow-in-the-dark plastic like the rest of the armor. But it's kind of lame in my opinion. But let's go ahead and get on with the show, shall we? Necroconda comes with Teela's sword from the 2000 series. We got the first appearance of this weapon with the... Okay, now I'm trying to remember. Okay, this weapon came with the Snake Teela, and it came with the Teela that came with the Zoar. And right offhand, I can't remember which figure came out first. So, but that's where this originated from. We got Lady Slither's dagger. We got the rest of He-Man's claw weapon. And we got Fangor's big old sword as our weapons. So again, that gives us lots of different options for weaponry. Now, Necro-Conda here does come with a cloak. It is kind of a pain in the butt to try to get over his head properly, but there we go. My suggestion generally, though, if you get this figure, is going to be to try to reposition the cloak so it actually does wrap around him more on the front, or the sides, I mean. Kind of like this. I think that just looks better than it all tangled in the back. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation here and how much this equipment interferes with the articulation. Okay, so this is King Hiss's head from the snake form. We can turn it around. I mean, it is on a ball joint, technically. But the design of the bottom of the neck there does limit the amount that it can move up and down, though you can still spin it around. And of course, if you have the hood all the way on it, it does hinder full range of motion. But it's not too bad. I mean, how many of us are actually going to turn the head all the way backwards? Now, the arms hinge up and down and spin. Of course, this is where the snake armor does, in fact, get in the way. You cannot do a full spin while it's wearing the armor. But we can hinge the arm up like per normal. And then if we want to spin it up a little bit like that, we can get away with that. We do have a single joint in the elbow, like most Master Universe Origin figures. We can bend it up and down, no problem. Okay, well, it's a little stiff on mine, so I guess there is a problem. And, of course, there's the peg in there to spin that around. We can, of course, spin him at the waist. And the cape moves along with it and is kind of annoying. The legs can kick out. The skirt does kind of interfere with it, but not a whole lot. We can kick... Oh, shoot. We'll go with the other leg because that one feels real stiff. We can kick forward about that far. And, of course, we can kick back about yay far. Single joint in the knee, which also feels real stiff on this figure. Dang it, Mattel. There. We'll go with that one. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a bit of a ratchet in there. Obviously, this leg is going to need to be heated up in order to actually move it. So we're back with a hinge at the bottom of the foot, and we can spin it on the peg there. So that gives us our ability to move that all around. As mentioned before, we can attach Lady Slither's tail to him and have him as a Naga or a Lemia, depending on which version you want to call it. What I don't know, actually, is... Let's see if this... It does not appear as if we can use the skirt piece with the tail, which is a bit disappointing, to be perfectly honest. But that was the thing, too. This tail was designed to work with the male figures, and then in the case of Lady Slither, you had that attachment part that went in between her tail and torso with the smaller peg hole. Now, that was two of the display options we have with this figure. Technically, the two more that you could do with this is remove the cloak altogether. Okay, well, I mean, obviously, there's multiples with that because you don't have to put the armor back on either when you get right down to it. I'm just saying that because, you know, the artwork shows it also without the cloak. So we have our cloakless Necro-Conda on his legs. Now let's go ahead and throw a He-Man's weapon in there. I don't know if you can see the color difference between the weapon claw and the base of it in this video. Like from my perspective right now, you can barely see any color difference, so I don't know how well that's going to pick up on the final video. But that also shows you that this is a different plastic, which again, it still should be able to glow in the dark. So we have that form. And of course, we always have the same problem with that stupid bracer for He-Man's snake weapon claw thing. And we have our other one where we can display him with the tail and no cloak. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't know if I would actually display this with the Tila sword because, you know, it's Tila's sword. It shouldn't be going with the Snakemen. But otherwise, I think this is actually a great figure. They did a really good job here at the reuse and creating a new figure out of it. They gave us one hell of a background for that. I just wish I could figure out what exactly the design on this bracer is supposed to be. I don't know how well you can see that either. Kind of makes me think of a spider more than anything else. But hey, let me know what you think in the comments below. Is this a figure you want? I know there's a lot of people who aren't big fan of the overabundance of Snakemen in this line at this point. But honestly, I know the reason why that happens is simply because of it's so much easier to get away with creating new characters with the Snakemen than it is with any of the other figure parts in this line, because Snakemen are supposed to look creepy and weird. But in all truth, I don't think you'll be disappointed in this figure if you do decide to buy it, because I honestly think it's really cool looking. And I mean, they use kind of like that, actually, I don't know, is it the plastic itself? I think it's the plastic itself that has kind of like this iridescent quality to it, now that I look at it. Because I was wondering if it was like a coating, which I guess it still could be a coating, but Mattel doesn't usually do that sort of thing, you know, because they're kind of cheap. But yeah, that too, just the way the light reflects off of this sucker is pretty badass in my opinion. If you enjoyed this look at the Necro-Conda figure, please feel free to slap that like button with your tail. And if you want to subscribe to my channel to see more of my idiotic content, that would be awesome too. Thank you for watching. Peace and love.